What if I tell you, if you can just write, you can have better health, you can have better relationships.
How can you understand so much about a person through their handwriting?
128 things about you just by looking at your handwriting and your signature. I can look into your handwriting and talk about your health. I can look into your handwriting and talk about what are your deepest fears. I can look into your handwriting and talk about how you perceive success and how you perceive failure. And what are the traumas you are holding on to? What are the things which you are not telling the world but you are feeling it inside?
Can handwriting really impact a person's professional life?
Yes.
So, what is first of all graphotherapy?
Graphotherapy is a systematic way of changing your handwriting to influence your subconscious mind. Handwriting, it's not the hand which is writing. So handwriting is actually the brain writing.
Yeah.
Why people do meditation, why people do breathing, why people do Gyan, it's all about going back to your alpha state of your mind. So what if I tell you the easiest and the fastest way to do that is...
Welcome to Perception and Beyond, the Suman Agarwal show. In today's episode, we are joined by renowned graphologist and behavioral expert Imran Baig to uncover the fascinating science of handwriting analysis. You will learn how your handwriting reflects your personality, mindset, and emotional health, and how graphotherapy can help you break limiting patterns and build confidence. We will also explore graphology's role in self improvement, mental health, relationships, and even career choices. Before we begin, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe because your next breakthrough might just be one conversation away. But I really want to understand from you that what is graphology all about? And is it really scientific or this is something which is artistic?
First of all, thank you so much for choosing me to be here and giving me a beautiful platform to communicate and educate your fans, your people who look up to you because you have set certain standards in the industry. I remember when I was talking about when I was exploring about image consulting, I love something what you said, or even today, I'm sure it's a tagline where you talk about it's not just about looking good. It's not about how you're how you come across to people. It's more about your self-esteem,
Right.
and it's more about how you see yourself as a inner self, as an image. And that was something very beautiful. That's what made me explore the possibility of understanding image consulting and things like that. And when we talk about handwriting analysis, we're also doing the same thing, because it's not about how good your handwriting is. It's not about how well you write. It's not about you're not writing it anymore at all. So graphology is all about biohacking. How do you reprogram your subconscious mind? How do you use a tool which is the easiest and the fastest way to decode your subconscious mind? So graphology is not about just looking into letters and आप ऐसे लिखेंगे तो आप ऐसे इंसान है. So it's not just that, because many of us still have that image that, okay, oh, I write so I'm like that. No, it's about using handwriting as a tool to connect back to your subconscious mind. It's about how why people do meditation, why people do breathing, why people do Gyan, and it's all about going back to your alpha state of your mind. So what if I tell you the easiest and the fastest way to do that is to write? And the counter question everybody will ask me is, Imran, who writes nowadays? Exactly is my question, who writes nowadays? And I want to tell you, it's not just the handwriting we don't write anymore. It's also we don't follow certain disciplines that, and who sleeps, where's sleep discipline? Who talks about diet anymore? Like, there's so many things we are not doing enough.
Correct.
So just because you don't write enough, it is not that it's not relevant. It is relevant. It's just that you're not doing enough. And if you ask me, Imran, why you do all this, what you do is to bring back people to writing. Forget about graphology, forget about graphotherapy. Can I inspire you to pull up that pen and write? That's the job.
How can you understand so much about a person through their handwriting? Well, I'm very curious to know this.
Okay, so if you ask so much, the answer is 128 things about you just by looking at your handwriting and your signature.
Wow.
So why do I say 128? Can we go beyond that? Yes, but the research, the core elements I can find out about you, I can look into your handwriting. So when I say 128 things, it's not just about how you think, how you feel. It's about your moods. No, it's not that. I really want to know what is the process Sumanji follows when she's making a decision. And trust me when I say this, many of us don't understand that. See, we sit in the classroom because the topic is good, but you don't realize whether that subject is for you or not. Now, that's why some of the things which comes to us effortlessly, and some subjects we have to put in a lot of efforts to understand that. So when we talk about handwriting analysis, I can go beyond that. In fact, what if I tell you about, I can look into your handwriting and talk about your health. I can look into your handwriting and talk about what are your deepest fears. I can look into your handwriting and talk about how you perceive success and how you perceive failure. And what are the traumas you are holding on to? What are the things which you are not telling the world, but you're feeling it inside? And that's what we do when we look into the handwriting. It's not just about looking into the handwriting and telling you about आप सोचते कैसे हैं, feel कैसा करते हैं, आप mood it's beyond that. In fact, that's why we go more deeper into it. And the funnily, people think when I do handwriting analysis, it's all about you know आपकी कितनी शादियां होगी, कितने बच्चे होंगे, आपको कितना पैसा मिलेगा, और आप कहाँ
आप
कहाँ
कितने
जाएंगे,
साल में कितने
आप
करोड़ का
कितना पैसा बनाएंगे,
हाँ
कहाँ और कहाँ कहाँ जाएंगे. People think I do that when I look into the
हम्म
handwriting. No, I want to tell you that if somebody says that they're doing all this using handwriting, it does not work that way. Anything to do with prediction, anything to do with decoding your past, no, we don't do all that. It's not possible to, because that's a different domain altogether. So to answer your question, handwriting analysis is a science. It's not an occult science. It's not a pseudoscience. It is studied under behavioral science. So if you go back and do research and identifying the psychological aspect of human behavior, you'll see graphology is one more way of doing that.
wow, that's really really amazing, and I'm really even now more looking forward to having my handwriting analyzed by you. So what are some negative and positive patterns in handwriting? Can you just throw some light on this?
Okay. So the good news is there's nothing like negative or positive. But yes, there are things which are red flags, which will I'll tell you you should never have in your handwriting. Things which you make sure that it does not show up in your handwriting and your signature. Now the question you should be asking me, Sumaji, is that Imran, people hardly write. Now, even if I'm writing, the other person is not a handwriting analyst. How does it influence, right?
Hmm.
You're telling me you should not write like this, but फर्क क्या पड़ने वाला है? Because he's not the analyst who's going to look at me and everything. So here's the thing which you need to understand. Every time you write, you're putting across a message to the universe, and you're putting across a message to your own subconscious mind. Because handwriting, it's not the hand which is writing. Okay, so handwriting is actually the brain writing.
Brain, yeah.
Because the science is very simple. Even if you have to lift your hand up and if you have to move like this, that means your brain has to tell your hand to do that, right? So it speaks to the hand using the neural pathways, the nerve system, the neuro aspect of it. And then the handwriting comes onto the paper. So you think, the pen matters. Sometimes, you write and people blame on the pen acha nahi hai. Or people think that, okay, I'm not comfortable sitting and writing. So I will tell you, the patterns are something which you write are called as strokes. Even if you're writing on the wall or the toilet door or anywhere in the writing, your handwriting will remain the same. It's not the pen, because there are concrete blueprint in your subconscious mind.
Tell me, when I see a doctor writing,
Yeah.
their handwriting, most people don't understand.
Yeah.
What are the patterns that you understand with their handwriting?
Yeah.
वो कुछ पढ़ने में ही नहीं आता है.
Yeah. So all the doctors out there, I'm here to cover you up. Okay. I want to tell you, I want to tell you, Subhadri, there's nothing like doctors' handwriting. Okay, I know we all
You
have
know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. So we also think about doctors write in a way only the chemist
I
understands or the
know.
druggist understands. No, the idea is I want to tell you something very interesting. I happened to work on a project where I got exposed to more than 6,000 doctors' handwriting. And trust me when I say this, they do write normally. And when they write things on the prescription, they are writing out of two things. One, in hurry. Number two, the honest confession of a doctor is sometimes they're just writing the components or the combination of the elements and
Sometimes I
things.
just get a feeling that they are so sick and tired of writing. That is why they are just writing, they're scribbling more than writing.
Eventually, you reach a level in your life where you end up doing that, right? So you're doing that same thing again and again and again and do it. But I want to trust me when I say that. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है doctor's handwriting. It's just that you have bad handwriting and you're blaming it on the doctor's phenomena. So ऐसा कुछ नहीं
Sorry,
है.
all the doctors. I
Sorry, all
didn't mean to
doctors.
harm you or hurt you or hurt your feelings. But whenever we see a bad handwriting, we always say it's a doctor's
No, I
handwriting.
will tell you, there is a case study where the doctor was fined for writing bad. And I have an article
Oh,
where the High Court actually talked about all doctors are supposed to be writing in a way which is legible at least. And I'll share that article with you. It was in the early 2006, 2007 when the High Court had fined a doctor for writing a prescription which was illegible.
oh. Okay.
And thanks to the technology, the writing of prescription is still present, but they're using different tools to make it more legible.
Mhm. Interesting. That's a very interesting research, and you must definitely share it with me.
Sure.
Uh, when you say that, we actually blame it on the pen,
Hmm.
that आज मेरा handwriting अच्छा नहीं है, वैसा नहीं है. But honestly, I have experienced that when I have a good pen, my
Hmm.
handwriting is very good. Sometimes I have a very slanting handwriting depending upon sometimes my mood. Sometimes I have a straight handwriting, and sometimes I write really beautifully. Not always, sometimes. Why and how does that happen? And does
So,
it also reflect the mindset of a person at that point of time?
okay. So first of all, congratulations, you're normal.
Okay.
Okay, because this is the phenomenon everybody understand. इमरान अगर अच्छा पेन है तो मैं अच्छा लिख लेता हूँ. And मेरा जब some people actually tell me that if I'm really calm and present, my handwriting is different. When I'm disturbed, when I'm in hurry, my handwriting is I'm like, congratulations, it's normal. Everybody does that, and it
Right.
happens. So I want to tell you something. There's nothing like good handwriting or a bad handwriting. And for a graphologist like me, it's not about letters. See, for me, it's not about the S or the T or how beautiful you write or what slant you're writing. For me, it's about how you start that particular letter, how it moves onto the paper, and how the ink from your pen is also getting created onto the paper. So for me, it's strokes. Anything which is a starting point and a direction and how it is getting formulated into it. The reason why we associate graphology with letters is because the research happened on Latin script.
Mm-hmm.
So whether you write, French, English, German, Russian, all of it follows a Latin script. So that's why we don't have any concrete research in regional languages like Malayalam, Hindi, Marathi, and Kannada because there's no enough evidence to show that okay, people who are writing like this has certain reflection on it. So we associated your finger movements to the Latin script. So even today, when we talk about how you can change your handwriting, to influence your subconscious mind, we are using the Latin script. So that's how we are looking into that way. So just coming back to the question when you asked me whether, what happens when it is left or right. See, all the things you will see this on the Google. And I want to tell you something. Please don't read Google when it comes to handwriting analysis. In fact, one of the things I follow is I don't follow any authors. I don't follow any content or any books. In fact, when I started my career as a handwriting analyst, people gifted me books on handwriting from different
Okay.
authors, and they
Mm-hmm.
thought, oh, Imran loves books on graphology and handwriting analysis. That's why in market you'll find books starting from 200 rupees to 2000 rupees. But I want to tell you, no, my focus of education of handwriting is purely on research data, what research was done and where it was published. So I have a lot of documentation of research oriented work where it goes back to as old as 1660, it goes back to 1960, where the London School of Psychiatry is actually talking about the difference of handwriting and how it shows up in references in anorexia as a health challenge, and how a person in depression writes in a particular way, how somebody who's actually dealing with body morphia and how it shows up in the writing. So that's the level of conversation we're talking about. In fact, nowadays people are not learning handwriting analysis to understand what you think and what I am thinking. We are using graphology and handwriting analysis to do biohacking.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
so those of you don't know what we're talking about, biohacking is about how you can make that micro shift in the way you think, feel, look at things and believe things and accept things, and how it can bring in the macro impact in your life. So this is what I'm working on. It's not about just looking into handwriting and your signature, whether it is, in a stylist or not stylist. No, it's all about how we can go back and reprogram your subconscious mind using the easiest and the fastest tool.
Excellent. I didn't know that this is so deep, to be very honest, because usually people at a superficial level, because even I have never read or thought about graphology to that extent that, there can be so many changes in terms of, your own narrative might change because of this tool. So this is something absolutely, I think, the need of the hour for people.
I'm glad you realized that. How I wish everybody who's watching this gets present that we are part of the world where people are looking at instant gratification. See, if I'm sure you had guests who are talking about health, the importance of exercise, importance of right eating, diet, and everything. But what will sell more is a tablet which promises you better health than a lifestyle which will give you a better health,
Oh, yeah,
right? So
absolutely.
trust me, when I
Absolutely.
when I meet people, I do have a lot of celebrity, and I have a lot of A-list people who come to me. I'm not supposed to be using the name, and the only question they ask me, Imran, tell me what should I change in my signature. and tell me what should I do in my writing. And I want to tell you this: don't give me so much of power to decide what is good for you, because for me, change is highly sacred thing.
Hmm.
Because what comes before change is to understand what you're changing. Sometimes you end up changing what is working for you in the name of change.
Correct.
So you need to understand, just don't follow a signature because it's fancy, or some, your, celebrity, cricketer, or is, sports person, or a, Bollywood celebrity wrote it in a particular way, signed it in a particular way. And that's how we all picked up our signatures. If you remember in our school, we took some elements from our principal, teachers, parents, and we made a mission out of it.
Correct.
And we don't even realize why we do what we do. And some of them blame it on the cursive books they wrote in the school. Sometimes they blame it on, how they were forced to write in a particular style. I want to tell you this: no matter how people forced upon things on you, you have outgrown that. You have outgrown that.
Yeah, yeah.
Who you are as a person today, it's easy to say I am like this because my mom, I get angry just like my mom, or no, I behave, I perceive things like just like my dad used to do it. So it's easy to go back and refer to that. But who you have become is definitely you have outgrown all of this. And you fail to acknowledge that.
I want to ask you that how has this skill empowered you? So you have been, of course, after your program with ICBI, you must have also guided people on image building, their appearance, their whole personality. But with this skill, how does it become like a win-win situation?
Okay, so I'll tell you the way back in the early, 2000s. I think I did my did your program in 2011, 12, and the curiosity brought me there because anything about human behavior, anything which is about mindset, I want to understand it. And if somebody is making sense out of it, somebody has a relevant data or education to give me that essence of it, I'm all for it.
Hmm.
And when I started exploring, so one of the reasons I got into it, more than the image aspect of it, the inner aspect of it was my, go-to factor. And I have been always looking at understanding human behavior, always looking at, why people behave the way they behave, and started learning. And not only I know I did program with you, but I also started understanding human behavior on a different level. In fact, way back when I was in school and sorry, in the college, the question was all about why people behave the way they behave. And that's how the question, inquisitiveness started. And thanks to the education I got exposed to, I got elements of human behavior because you also believe in the same thing, right?
Correct.
Like it's not just about helping people to have an education or qualification as a ICB, and it's, also looking at how they can work on the inner aspect of it and how they see themselves. And that sometimes is a wonder.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, can handwriting really impact person's personal or professional life?
Yes.
How does it work?
So the beauty about human beings is that we can do anything we want to, or you've been trained to, or you've been asked to. But is it coming to you effortlessly? Like when you started the organization, the sense of training, you did not have to do what you have to do. It came to you naturally. There's
Right.
some inclination. So you understood that and you build upon that. And that's why you don't have to work every day when you wake up. You're not thinking, oh, yeah, that's class learning, or yeah, I have to do a session right now today. Because it's coming to natural. So imagine if you can understand your inner strength, if you can understand your, who you are as a person, natural strengths, and you can build upon that. Life is, you're not going to work anymore in your life.
So, can you share any case study where somebody was in XYZ situation and you were able to help that person out, primarily on the basis of how certain changes were made in this person's handwriting skills?
Surely. See, I have worked with many people who are well established people. So let me take a case of not a person who from rags to riches story. So let me take people who are highly accomplished people. I meet them. And one of the things I really understand looking at their handwriting is they're operating with low self esteem. Self esteem is basically a combination of self respect and self confidence coming together. And when I see them, they are $500 million company, they are doing some amazing work, but I see that the level of confidence they have, the level of self-respect they have is very, very less. And in fact, I took the courage of telling that person, you know what, I know people will be crazy about the number of numbers you have put out in your business and things like that. But what I really want to understand is that why do I see this in your handwriting? And that person took a pause and you opened up and said, yes, yes, Imran, people evaluate my success based on the numbers in my business. But trust me, deep down, my wife is not in alignment with me. I'm not okay with my relationship. My children are not talking to me. I no matter how much I put in effort, I failed in that aspect. So when I sit here, even now everybody's talking about the business, how many stores we are opening, how much revenue I'm generating. Deep down, there's something which is bothering me. Imagine if somebody understands the level of frustration they're going through, and this is what it is. And it is not about one person. It's not about homemakers only. It's not about business people only. It's about everybody's struggle. Is that sometimes we acknowledge it, and sometimes we don't acknowledge it.
Right.
And that's why every case I go through, every person I have worked with, it comes from some of the things which you are willing to acknowledge, and some of the things which you don't want to acknowledge. Like, you should not be surprised if I tell you that I have analyzed handwritings of people who tell me, Imran, no, I don't agree with your analysis. No, I'm not like that. Okay, if you say you're not like that, so what's your reference point? So what education or what background you're coming to tell me that, okay, this is not how you behave? Because if you ask your spouse, she will have a different approach towards it, right? If you ask your colleagues, they will have a different, because how much you know about yourself is in two ways. One, what you think, or what others are thinking. So Sumanji, which is correct?
I think both are correct in different ways.
Hmm.
How you think about yourself or what you think about yourself matters. But at the same time, sometimes you may not know everything about yourself. And that is where people's feedback is also very important.
Okay, so if I have to choose one, which is the most accurate of all?
How you think about yourself.
Okay, so I think I'm more good looking, better dancer than Ritik Roshan. So I'm correct.
I don't know about your dancing skills.
So am I correct?
Then you have to align yourself, or maybe somebody needs help.
Yes, and sometimes I come across people who say that, Imran, I'm very stupid. I don't think so. I'm not good enough. I think मेरे कुछ नहीं होगा. So is it correct?
No, I think then it's a wrong self perception, which
Yeah.
may need little alignment.
So people also tell me, Imran, तेरे से कुछ नहीं होगा. You're stupid and good for nothing. So is it correct?
Then you should just give them a kick and tell them to
So
go.
the point I'm emphasizing here is that what you think and what others think, let's not waste time finding out which is correct. Let's keep this aside, okay? Because it's a debatable and it's an ongoing debate. What if I tell you, if your handwriting could tell you exactly who you are without any biases? So no references of what people think or you think. It's very much, it's like getting your lab report done. So if you get your lab report done, I want to ask this to the viewers also. Do you go and question the lab person, like, how can you write I
ये
have
कैसे
high
आया?
cholesterol? I'm a vegetarian, I have a particular diet, I do a lot of exercise. How can you write I have high cholesterol? We don't do that, right? We
Correct.
accept it because it's coming from an authority or coming from the space of science and research. Similarly, the handwriting also tells you your actual blueprint. In fact, you'll be surprised, some of the things I see in handwriting much before it happens to your body. Because the world is experiencing a phenomena called as psychosomatic aspects.
Hmm.
You go to any problems right now, it all starts from your mind first and then into your body. Now, what if I tell you, if I can look into your handwriting and focus identifying it on the mind level itself so that it does not go into your system, it does not become part of your physiology, and let's focus on eliminating that on the psychological level itself.
Hmm.
So that's what I want people to get from handwriting analysis. Not about how you think or how you feel or the mood or whatever.
See, what you said about this brain connection with what you write made a lot of sense to me, because till then I was also thinking that handwriting से क्या पता चलता है किसी के बारे में. But when we talk about the neuro aspect coming into the picture, then I think it makes 100% sense. And it's not about how you manipulate your writing, but it's primarily how your brain is functioning at that point of time. So I think that is like a 10 on 10.
Thank you for
So I think a lot of people who don't believe in this science yet need to believe, because it's not primarily or superficially what you're writing, but how your brain is programmed at that point of time. I think that generates the complete outcome.
that. Very true. Some of the things we're carrying is showing up in our handwriting.
Excellent. So can you give some tips on graphology and graphotherapy? First of all, I need to understand what is graphotherapy, because we just spoke about graphology. So what is, first of all, graphotherapy?
Okay. So graphology is you're identifying, you're basically doing the diagnosis of it. Graphotherapy is a systematic way of changing your handwriting to influence your subconscious mind. So how you write, how you start your letters and how you end your letters. So you're basically making changes in the way you write to send back the communication to your subconscious mind. For example, if you raise your hand up right now and bring the thumb and the index finger together, and this is the movement you're doing, right? When you write, so when you keep the pen on the paper and when you're
Hmm.
making the movement, so can you see this is the way it's moving? Can you see this is how it's moving?
Hmm.
So this movement can create a particular letter, a Y or a G or any pattern. But what you need to really understand is just this movement. Can you see that the flow of the movement, the stimulation of the muscles, the neurons, and everything goes and stimulates certain part of your brain, and the brain, which is the powerhouse, the control power of your entire
Right.
existence, gets stimulated and releases certain chemicals, and those chemicals in turn brings in behavioral change. So for example,
Wow.
when you do exercise, you feel good about doing it. Why? Because when you do
Serotonin.
exercise, something gets released in your brain. So when you're feeling sad or not really in the thing, so that means your brain is releasing certain chemical. That's why you're experiencing that emotion, that right. So why do we take antidepressant tablets? Is because it's the same chemical which your brain can also develop and generate to pull you out of that emotion, but it's not it's failing to do that. So you're taking an extra element. So antidepressant is the same chemical which your brain can also generate,
Hmm.
but it's failing to do that right now. So graphotherapy is all about stimulating your brain and releasing the chemical. So
Excellent.
I, I I fell in love with this process. You know why? Because for the longest period of time, this is what I've been telling people. The power to change your life is inside of you, not outside of you. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to meet anybody. You don't have to do anything other than just work on your own self because it's inside of you. So the chemicals are inside. You're just failing to stimulate. It's just like Imran, immunity, everybody has it. But
Hmm.
some people have low immunity, some people have autoimmunity. So that means there's something internal only.
Right.
So what if I tell you, if you can just write to change that aspect of it. So if you can really get this right, and if you get this process right, you can have better health, you can have better relationship, the way you look at your money, because everything is an chemical which is asking you to react or respond to a particular situation. And many people see. I'll tell you one simple. If you ask me how do I introduce myself to people, I ask this simple question to them. And why handwriting analysis is important, you will get result out of it. So, Sumanji, tell me one thing which you want to work in your life, which you want to change this. Okay, Imran, this is one thing about my life which I want to change, or maybe one habit, maybe one, belief, or maybe one aspect of life. So, go ahead, tell me one.
One habit or one belief?
Anything.
Overthinking.
Overthinking. Beautiful. So now, when you say that, Imran, I want to work on my overthinking. So, will you agree with me if I tell you that you also know what you need to do to stop overthinking,
Absolutely.
right? In fact, you know so much that you can make a video out of it, educate people around that. You know it, but why is it still not helping you to stop overthinking? You know why? Because what you know is not conscious level, and that's why sometimes we start books. We write a lot of things, and we read books and we do a lot of processing, but eventually go back to the same routine, right? We go back to the overthinking. You know why it did not work? Because you tried on a conscious level. What if I tell you graphology, graphotherapy can help you to get on to the aspect of your behavior where the overthink can be resolved, because you're using your subconscious mind, and it will become so natural that next time you don't even know there's something like that existed for you.
Wow. I
And
want to learn.
so that's what we teach people. And
Hmm.
first of all, you saying that you have overthinking, how sure are you? So what I do is I first look into your handwriting, tell you whether you have it or you don't have it, because just you feel, because many people, thanks to the education, thanks to overexposure of education, of or information I should say rather, that when we talk about depression, everybody thinks I also have all these elements. When we talk about overthinking, people are like मेरे भी वैसे ही हो रहा है. Now when we talk about जिंदगी में प्रॉब्लम है, आपको लगा मेरे को भी ऐसा ही. So can you say that you're feeling that way? But how true it is? No, it's not there. It's not right. So that's why many of them, I interact with a lot of doctors who are part of my community. I want to tell you that. And many doctors come and tell me, Imran, I meet a lot of patients. They have this knee pain, they have this, digestive issue and everything. We make them go through a lot of tests. All test comes normal. The doctor says, कुछ नहीं है, सब ठीक है.
Hmm.
But the patient says, नहीं sir, कुछ तो
कुछ तो गड़बड़ है.
and in the process he make the doctor wrong, he will make the report wrong. ये doctor को कुछ नहीं आता.
Yeah.
So I'll go to another doctor. I'll go to super specialist. I'll go talk to the dean of that organizer. I want somebody who can, because in your head is like इसको resolve करना है. So we call this as unexplained pains, unexplained health challenges because it's it's in your head, and we need to really address that because in this process some of them cause diseases to themselves, which was not true in first case.
So, are you trying to say that this is psychological more than anything else?
Beyond psychology. It's beyond the way you think and perceive things. Imagine everything you do. That's why biohacking I'm talking about. Every time you feel certain things about it, every time you think about it. So, Sumanji, I'm sure you had many guests who were talking about diet, right? क्या खाना चाहिए, क्या करना चाहिए. Tell me how many people talk about mental diet. Tell me how many people have educated you about क्या देखना चाहिए, क्या नहीं देखना चाहिए, क्या सुनना चाहिए, क्या फील करना चाहिए. ये कोई नहीं सिखाता. सब लोग ये सिखाते हैं ये खाना चाहिए, ये नहीं खाना चाहिए, ये अच्छा होता है सेहत के लिए, ये खाने से ये फायदा होता है. लेकिन कोई ये नहीं बताता कि यार इसको सोचना कैसा है. How do you feel it? Can you manage your feel? We don't do mental diet.
Right.
Are you hearing this for the first time?
Yes.
So we don't do mental diet. So if you're not going to expose yourself to a particular environment, so there's a very beautiful saying which says that your environment is stronger than your willpower. So if you're going to put yourself in the same environment where people are looking up to you, people agree with whatever you're saying, so you're in the wrong place. When I was growing up, my teacher said this: even if it requires you to pay somebody, pay and make sure that person's only job is to tell you that you're wrong when you're wrong.
Wow.
Because many
That's such a
times,
great learning.
yeah, many times you have reached a particular level in your life where you think everything you do is right.
And nobody actually
And
dares to say that
if
you're
somebody
wrong.
says that, they're blacklisted, right? So we have a lot of S people. I'm against your dependency on medicines because I believe that medicines, I'm sure there's a lot of research work which actually validates that they're designed for helping you to maintain that disease. So it's not just any drug which will help you to get out of that. Nobody's reversing anything. So when you take tablets, you're basically managing your diabetes,
Correct.
managing your hypertension. It's not like curing anything. So how do I help you, and how do I make that chemical which you're taking from outside can release in your own part? That's a discipline I'm looking at helping people. And those of you who are experiencing depression, you don't have to undergo 2 years, 3 years of the work or progress. What if I tell you that you would have done more faster in an easy way if you were just focus on that aspect of it? Because as much as your exercise you're doing, even if you're doing the exercise, it is again influencing where? To your mind again, to your
Right.
brain again. So everything is there. So as much as exercise is important, yes, your body gets taken care of, but the idea is again the brain. And talking about COVID, how many of us know people who got COVID? They went to the hospital, got admitted, got treated, got out of COVID, came back home. Only a few weeks later, they got COVID again.
Yes.
So what happened in that process is vaccine was generated for the body, treatment was done on the body, but the powerhouse, the brain was never addressed. Imagine you getting COVID was not just getting COVID. It's like people treated you as if you did a crime, right? People
Lockout.
sealed your yeah,
Lockdown. Yeah.
yeah, people sealed your apartment complex. People actually did so many things, and it took an emotional
Yes, yes.
trauma
It
on
took
you,
a
and
toll on
nobody talked
everybody's
about it.
mindset.
Nobody talked about it. So all of us are just treating body. We're not treating the root cause of that problem. Not only COVID, people who have kidney issues, they have kidney stones. They do a lot of therapy, everything, get the stones out, only to see it's coming back again. And forget about just the smaller things. People are getting cancer back again. So that means all the chemio, all the process happened only on the body. Why did you not address the root cause? Nobody talks about the brain. So when I talk about this, people think as a handwriting analyst is all about decoding people's personal. No, I'm here to tell you that your handwriting can actually help you to do biohacking, which is the way forward. If you're looking at longevity, if you're looking at helping yourself, keeping away, prevention is better. Don't write graphotherapy to treat any diseases. Write graphotherapy so that you will never put your mind and body in a space that you have the disease coming in. So when I do programs, when I educate people, my focus is about, yeah, we love medical insurances, we love people having all this thing, but what if you reach a level where you don't have to use that medical insurance because you're keeping yourself so healthy?
Correct.
Can you develop that mindset? Can you develop that, ecosystem for yourself. That's very important.
Do you think people should be more mindful of their writing style? And,
So,
and if yes, how can they benefit from it?
so whenever you're writing, don't overwrite. Okay, when don't cut through your signature is something which you'll keep hearing people telling you that, but nobody tells you about why they should be doing, not doing that. And if you tell me, Imran, that's how I sign and that's how I write. So everything you do with your pen, in fact, we have something called as forget about striking through your signature, forget about how you sign. I'll tell you, every time you rest your pen onto the paper, also says something about you. Like when you were writing, you just took a pause to understand how you writing, and you planned it. Okay, now I'm going to write this way. So you paused it, right? And sometimes you keep the pen down on the paper. So every resting dot on your paper also matters.
Hmm.
And how you move your hand onto the paper, now from the left to the right, and how much space you left from every pattern you wrote. Remember, you wrote the pattern, you were supposed to stop at 5 things, but you continued longer. So everything you do with your pen matters. So it's not just about the letters. It's not just about being mindful. It's about every single aspects of your writing matters. It's like precision oriented.
Wow.
But you don't have to get overwhelmed by okay इतना सारा करना पड़ेगा नहीं आपको सिर्फ पेन उठाना है लिखना शुरू करना है और धीरे धीरे will fine tune that process. It's like
Hmm.
you start to run, then you learn about the breathing, then you get to know present what is the right shoe and what is the right rhythm, what is the right gear you can wear. So that's all later. But many times people we get into so involved into the gear and everything, we don't even take the first.
Now that I'm finding this subject so interesting, how about kids? Now, if it comes to children, and if we want to condition children or we want children to develop certain habits, do you think handwriting analysis and practicing certain patterns will also make a difference in their life, or it's not supposed to be for children?
Okay, so there are two ways of answering that. I love that when you said it's not supposed to be with children. If you ask me, Imran, don't even look into your children's handwriting.
Hmm.
No, they're going through a journey. Okay, so they're evolving. So the natural transition has to take place. It's like the cocoon and the butterfly story. Now, if you're going to interfere, no, no, I want to help them. I want to fix them. I would like, no, you're hampering your natural progress. But yeah, you can be watchful. You can actually support, but take help of a trained person. Parents don't learn handwriting analysis so that you can scan your children and help
Hmm.
them. No, bad idea. Okay, so give your child to work with an expert or
Yeah,
somebody
yeah,
who
yeah,
knows that. So
absolutely.
we will help you. We will do the fine tuning part, not as a parent, not. So we are not even going to get into changing their handwriting or fixing their handwriting or making them learn calligraphy or beautification. No, we're just going to make certain changes. We do have separate material for kids where we work on their legibility aspect of it. So we call that as handwriting development. So what we are doing is analysis, graphotherapy, but they will undergo a process of development. They'll learn how to write every single letter. Okay, what is the right way of writing it? What could be the right way of influencing that? But there's one condition I work with the kids. I want the parent to be my student first. So I want you to do it because children learn when they see you writing it. So if you want to invest your fees to just make the "मेरे बच्चे को लिखा दो," like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I don't want that. No, you are writing with him, then I work with you.
And what would be the ideal age group?
6 years and above,
Okay.
or at least first standard in academically in India.
Hmm.
Otherwise, 6 years and above.
Wow. That's really amazing. How about people faking handwriting? Does that happen?
Try it.
Have people tried faking handwritings,
See, as an expert, you
manipulating
can pick it up.
handwritings?
You can't fake it.
Hmm.
Handwriting cannot be faked. So I'll tell you something. You wrote exams in your life, like you grew up writing exams, right? Thanks to
Hmm.
India and the education system, we write exams every time. So, what is the best sheet in the answer sheet
Best sheet in the answer sheet.
when you're writing answers to your exam? So,
Blank sheet.
but the first sheet is always the best sheet in the answer sheet because
You write in the best way.
yes,
Yes.
full stops, highlighted and everything. What happens to the second
उसके
sheet?
बाद असलियत बाहर आ जाती है.
What happens to the third sheet? What happens to the
Scribbling.
fourth?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
fake it.
Absolutely.
So what is real will eventually come out. And how fast you can catch up, your expertise can do it. We have something called as writer's cramp. Writer's cramp is you pick up a pen, you know what you want to write, but the hand does not move.
Hmm.
And it's a problem. And
But
hand does not move at all.
okay.
So it's called writer's cramp. So the coordination between hand and the brain has gone. It's like vanished. It's like zunk kha gaya. It's like it's not working. And when somebody is watching you, it becomes more worse. So as much people want to write, they stop writing because maybe somebody said something about their handwriting and that's why they stop writing. And there's no medical treatment for writer's cramp. And the bad news is earlier it used to happen at the age of 50s and little later than that. But today I have seen people as young as 20, 25 years old, they have writer's cramp.
I've never heard of this before.
Yeah.
There are so many things that you're talking about which I have never heard of.
Yeah, you never heard of something called as dysgraphia. All of us know all the other issues. Thanks to Tare Zameen Pe, thanks to Amir Khan, every parent felt that my child is dyslexic, right? Something is wrong with my child. But do you know there's something called as dysgraphia? Dysgraphia is a learning disability when it comes to writing. So it's like Suman telling me, Imran, you ask me any question, I will tell you orally. Writing medicine. And if you push yourself to write, you will see that words are missing, you will see that the sentence is incomplete, you will see the spelling error is happening. And if you see this in child's handwriting, people think, okay, he needs language training, he needs tuitions, he needs coaching. But what you don't understand is he is experiencing dysgraphia, and not no teachers are trained into it, no parents are trained into it.
So, who's the person who will actually guide people or guide children
Who are people
who
who are
have?
studying handwriting. That's why graphologists, the trained master practitioners, not
Oh, so
just
you
anybody
mean
else.
that even a counselor cannot help in
No.
this?
Sometimes they
Oh.
know the concept, they
Hmm.
can do as much as they can, and sometimes just to understand that 3 4 sessions. And do you think the child will last 3 4 sessions just to break ice, just to have the child open that? So, but counselings, I'm sure you have went through the process when you were doing your process of getting out of depression. The first 3 4 sessions in the typical counseling session is all about building rapport,
Hmm.
right? Breaking the ice, becoming comfortable with each other. What if I tell you? I'm not saying that is bad and wrong. Respect for all that thing what you're doing. But today we need to have conversations, which is right now. What if I tell you? I sit with you in the first session. I will tell you the challenges even before you tell me.
Hmm.
I will tell you what you're going through even before you tell me. So what do you like? Do you want a process where it's taking time, or a process where it's somebody who understands where you're
Of
coming from?
course, of course.
So that's what we do. So can you see that handwriting analysis is not just about looking at handwriting and studying behavior? There's so much more to it. There's so much more to it.
What about people who are struggling after finishing their academics? Struggling that what is the right career for me? Is there anything in graphology which can help such people understand that what is the right career path
Yeah, fine.
in career counseling,
Yeah,
maybe?
I have not only people who are qualified. Like, this is the sad story of our academic system, because we're qualified educationally, we know so much about it, but when it comes to managing your life, the score is a little different, right?
Hmm.
So I have a lot of people who are homemakers for the longest period of time. Like, I have this beautiful lady who is right now part of my core team. She's Pooja Srivastava, and she was a homemaker for 21 years of her life. Now today she is a practicing graphologist,
Wow.
and she saw it, calling out of it today. Earlier she was just the auntie in the community, but now today she's the handwriting auntie in the community. Like, everybody goes to her, everybody wants to talk to her, everybody wants to speak to her. So yes, people are looking at having a career, passive income,
Hmm.
people who want to create a new identity for themselves. They want to realize, some of us have amazing passion to help people, but sometimes the you think that, okay, education is needed, degrees are needed and things like that. But if you can just learn tools like this which can help you and make people write and have conversations just the way we are having it. So I call this as conversational therapy, right? So what we're having right now is a therapy session where we're just speaking to
True,
each
true,
other,
true. Absolutely.
and we don't even get into that domain of, okay, somebody's helping somebody, no, just having conversations.
Hmm. Tell me something now. If somebody is going through any mental health challenge, emotional health or mental health challenge, can that also be taken care of with
Yeah,
this
talk
skill?
to us. Yeah, learn this science, go through this journey, because one of the things I have realized is, instead of doing one to one and making you feel that there's something wrong with you, sit with people who are just curious, inquisitive, people who are just looking at learning handwriting analysis, and go through this conversation with me,
Hmm.
and be with me one weekend where I'm going to talk about why we are like that, and why we do what we do, and why we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, and find out your calling, and you do your own analysis. Like, I will never analyze your handwriting. The best part is I'll make you analyze your own handwriting. The first handwriting you'll ever analyze is yours. So I don't want you to accept it because I'm telling you. I want you to accept it because you're analyzing that. Because end of the day, the person who you really know is the person who's sitting in your chair right now. So start with that.
But if you see somebody's handwriting, can you make out that this person is going through any emotional
Yes,
issues or
possible.
any mental health issue?
Yeah, for sure. No second thought. Like I can. That's why I said, uh, if I analyze your handwriting, I know I can go deeper.
But even if they have not told you about it.
Yeah, no, you don't have to. And even I can tell you that even if you are not experiencing it, I'll tell you that you will eventually go there. So I'm glad that you met me and I'm having this conversation with you.
Hmm.
It's
And have
possible.
you come across such people? Have you
Yeah,
experienced, or
for
has there been
many,
any case
many,
study?
many cases. Like I've been doing this for 19 years of my life. And how I started was doing a lot of one-to-ones.
Hmm.
Like I had close to 600, 700 one-to-ones with people. I have been having conversations, analyzing handwritings. Now I've reached a place where I don't want to keep this science with me. I want to share it with people. That's why I started teaching this to people. So it's not just Imran is able to do it. Now anybody who's willing to learn this can do it. That's why we
Hmm.
created a system, we created the material, and we are educating you, we are sharing with you. It's all does it takes is one yes from you. Yes, I want to do it.
What are some of the surprising things you've discovered about people through their handwriting?
Okay. There is a very extreme one dimension of handwriting, which is the criminal mindsets. Like we can identify criminal tendencies. We can identify, when we're doing recruitment analysis, whether this person fits the job or not. So there's so many more things which you can identify. We have also identified perversion behavior. We have also identified sexual inclinations using handwriting. All these things there, and some of the things are acceptable in India to discuss and evaluate, and some of the things we don't have to really have a conversation around that, and we respect that and we keep it there.
Do you have recruiters who today analyze handwritings before they actually onboard somebody?
Yeah, so I'm glad you asked this question because in the Western world, close to 40-50% of the companies use graphologists as a person who's going to evaluate, not at the entry level of it, at the
Mm-hmm.
cream level of it. Like when you have the top level recruitment happening, process happening, and you will see that happening there. And in India, it's slowly catching up. And thanks to some people who are open, who are really willing to contribute, and the companies are accepting it, and it's a doable thing.
Excellent. This is so interesting.
Yeah,
And
we can identify, when I look into people's handwriting, when we talk about health challenges, we can identify issues with their, sexual life. We can talk about issues with their relationships. We can also identify issues related to the reproduction organ and many more things like that.
mm-hmm.
Not because, you know, I'm, I want to correct. We don't do we are not competing with the pathology lab or, the typical, aspect of it. What we are trying to do is we are associating behaviors and how these behaviors are impacting your health and how the physiology, so it's basically the psychology impacting your physiology. So what we are trying to correlate is how you feel and behave is causing a disease in your body. So that's how the idea is.
Right. So at the same time, you're not changing something which is already a problem in your physical aspect.
uh,
In the sense that if somebody has an issue with their um, reproductive organs, now if the doctor has already said that, you know, this is something which is a problem in your body, but it cannot be tweaked or it cannot be changed because of graphology.
uh, okay, correction. So if you have a reproduction organ, right now we're discussing this as a challenge, go to the doctor, take the treatment, take the medicines, allow the doctor to work on your body and allow us to work on your brain so that together you'll have a faster result.
Got it.
So we'll get into an inquiry. Why do you have issues with your reproduction organ? Maybe
Hmm.
you're not accepting your gender. Maybe there are certain things where you're not okay being the gender, and
Or maybe
maybe
you're holding yourself back.
maybe one impact of one experience of the past where you're holding something against you, saying that okay, you are the person who is responsible for all the things which is going on. Maybe it's a stigma you don't want to discuss about it.
Or maybe you have started believing that ये नहीं होने वाला है. Maybe that belief system needs to change. And then your intervention will actually help that belief system to
Yeah.
change.
So we're not competing with doctors because see, only doctors can do what doctors can do because they
Hmm.
come from the level of education and experience of
Right.
doing what. So all I'm asking you to do is why don't you help the doctors treat you better by empowering your brain?
Got it.
So this is where we come in. So we are not running a parallel healing or treatment process. We just know how we can bring this thing together. The root is the brain. So let's bring together, because eventually when you have diabetes or hypertension, what is the first question the doctor is going to ask you is that, what are you so stressed about? आप इतना क्या सोचते हैं? Right? Why are you so exposing yourself to all these things? So eventually the problem she is showing up. See, the good thing is body shows off the problems. Brain does not show it. How will you? Where is the window to see what is happening?
Very true. Very true.
Right.
Okay. So, for someone who's curious to explore graphology, what's the first step?
Okay, so I make it easy. So I give what people want. People want to know, Imran, I sign like this. What does it mean? I need to tweak my signature. What is my signature speaking on my behalf without even me knowing it? So what I do is I run a 90 minutes conversation on signatures. So I conduct a signature master class, and the link will be included in as a you know the link will be included in the comment section, where people can click and watch a video on how I do what I do, and they can start from there. And then if they find interest in the product, and yeah, they want to do it, then they can get into a system and enroll into my program. That's also possible.
All right. And when we talk about signature, so right now we have only spoken about handwriting. How and what does a signature indicate?
Okay, so signature and handwriting are not two different things.
Acha.
Because your signature is a sum of all the letters which you write in your handwriting. So it's like, in Suman Agarwal, you have Suman, but it does not mean that only these letters are important. All the other letters are also important, because somewhere it's contributing to you in the way you write and everything. But yeah, how you write your signature is also very important. How you sign is very important.
And basis that, you also give recommendation that how certain things need to change in the signature for what?
Yeah. So when you sit with me, what will help you is to do a power signature. So that when you sign, what is the communication you can put across to your subconscious mind? What is the communication you can put across to your, the universe? Because every time you're writing, you're vibrating a particular frequency, you're vibrating a particular energy, and that will help you to, put across the message. It's like, I don't want Suman to go and convince people that how powerful she is. Like, her personality can show up that way. Like when you enter the room, people notice you. There's something different about you, because the way you hold yourself. And how do you work on that? Because yes, there's a particular way of sitting and walking and things like that, but it should come from inside. And if you don't feel it, people will see that you're faking it. Like eventually, after some time, you'll sit down and sulk in your chair, because you're not doing that. So that will show up in your results. How you see your success, how you'll manage your fears, how you're looking at your limiting belief system, can be ordered just by your signature. That's the entry level of doing it. Yeah,
Excellent.
it's possible.
And what if your handwriting is revealing more than what you're actually saying? Because
it is
I'm
always that
sure.
way. It's always that way.
Yeah.
Because your handwriting is your subconscious habit. And subconscious is where everything is there. Your memories, your habits, everything is there. So you will be definitely, it should not come to you as a surprise that, okay, it's telling me more than what I know about myself, because some of the things you don't even aware of. Like I will tell you, the first time I did my own analysis, way back in 19 years back, I did not like my own analysis. Like I shut my books, I kept it aside. I said, "ये काम नहीं करता," because I did not like it. And after some time, it took me 3 weeks. I went back. I started seeing myself behaving exactly what my analysis said. The way I'm handling certain situations, the way I'm reacting to certain people. Then I realized that moment I was not ready to accept it. And now when I saw myself being there, doing that, it's telling me things which I was not ready.
How much have you changed by making certain changes in your handwriting and the patterns that you spoke about?
Okay. Thanks to all the teachers I came across, thanks to all the education I was exposed to, thanks to some of the amazing people who are part of my life, who I learned ongoingly, and I keep growing and understanding. And who I've become today as a person, it's very different than how I saw myself 19 years back. Yes, as a human being, I did also do mistakes. I learned from my mistakes, but how I always saw myself, how I always believed in certain things, how I build up around things, that's more important. And that's how I saw that happening.
What are the most common reasons why people come to you for handwriting analysis, signature
Yeah,
analysis?
so they want to, many people come to me with a very interesting need. They want to have a very fancy signature. Imran, give me something good looking signature, like power
Oh, is it?
signature. Yeah, I want to, when I sign, ऐसा कुछ लगना चाहिए. So the need, in fact, people who are watching this also will tell me that Imran, I should, when I sign, no, you should like. So if you look at my signature, it's so simple. It's like, people tell me like, you're a handwriting analyst, you're a graphology, you can do so many things with your signature. It's like, why will I sign or write in a way which I'm not? And if people see that authenticity in you, they will work with you. They want to learn with you. They want to grow with you. They want to do business with you. And this is a blessing. Many times we meet people, the offer is good, the pricing nice, but you still don't buy it from them because on the authenticity level, there's something missing. Mismatch is happening, right? Sometimes has it happened? Like you meet people as like, yeah, ये सब ठीक है, something,
Hmm. कुछ
something,
तो था.
कुछ तो ना, somewhere I did not connect somewhere because I want to tell you, Sumanjit, we are all analysts naturally. As human beings, we're blessed that we have this ability. The problem is the muscle which we don't use is the muscle which is not getting stronger because you know your instincts, you know your gut. When you meet people, in the first 7 seconds, you know who I am, and people don't acknowledge that. You go to a new place, you're already doing that.
Hmm.
But the point is that if you have an education to enhance that, imagine your life, imagine the level of confidence you'll have in your decisions.
Absolutely.
Like when I was going through this process because I believe that every human being should understand how they can be the best version of themselves, and I was studying about what defines you as a person, like how it differentiates a human being from rest of all the mammals we have. And it says intuition, it says your gut, it says your ability to analyze people, scenarios, and situations beyond your academic ability, and that's so beautiful.
Hmm.
And I fell more in love with the sciences because this is actually helping me to enhance my natural abilities.
Absolutely.
Say the breathing is already there,
Ah.
but if you're breathing not breathing right, things will happen, right? So
So
it's all
that also is taken into consideration.
everything. I want you to, that's why when you sit with me, as much as I'm going to give all the credit to the graphotherapy and science, everything, but it's you.
Hmm.
It's you. That's why if you look at every time I'm making a video acknowledging or reading a testimonial, the first word I tell my student is that thank you for making this work for you, because it's a system, it's a process. ये तो काम करेगा मुझे भी मालूम है,
Hmm.
लेकिन आपने इसको मौका दिया. Many times we give up on our own self and we thought we gave up on the program, but you actually gave up on your own self.
Excellent. All right. So now we come to the last segment, which is breaking the mirror segment.
Okay.
What is that one myth about graphology which you want to bust today?
It has nothing to do with your future prediction. It has nothing to do with, finding out what will happen. But it has all about how you can plan or how you can create your future. So
You are not an astrologer, but you
no,
are somebody who can work on tweaking the brain
yeah,
based on how you write. So I think it's all about your present,
yeah,
not your future.
yeah. So it's no, we don't do predictions. We don't do anything related to predictions. But I can definitely help you to reach where you want to reach. And when I look into your handwriting, I know where you're heading towards. I can help you with that. But we don't know predict. That's a myth. People think that we're astrologers and we actually do that. No, we don't. That's a different science, and we
Yeah,
respect that. It's a different domain altogether.
superb, superb. So this was really, really amazing. And I think I've learned a lot. Not completely, not 100%, but to a great extent because a science which I was absolutely not aware of, I've actually been made aware of. And we only need to make it better for others because the more people are aware of it, people will become serious about how they can plan certain things for themselves to make their future or make their present better so that they can have a better life.
True. That's my commitment too. How we can help people win. Because I always tell people, if you don't take action, you're depriving others of you. Like imagine if Sumanji had not started ICBI, could have not co-founded it, it could have not put in your sweat and blood. So many people could have not had their identity today they have
True.
as a ICBI, right? They're proud of it.
Yeah.
And imagine if you're told this to yourself that night, phone karega. Imagine someone like, who will listen to me?
Right.
I don't have that background, nothing like that. But you did not listen to that. So there's more to you than what you think you are doing. So this is for everybody. don't deprive others of you by not working on your own self.
Great. Excellent. Thank you so much, Imran, for coming here.
Pleasure,
I
right?
told you that this is truly law of attraction. You were living in Dubai. You happen to be here in
Yeah,
Mumbai today, and we just happened to plan this
yeah,
out of the blue.
all of you.
And it had to happen, so it happened.
True.
But thank you once again for your time and making this truly, truly special podcast for all of us.
Pleasure is mine. Thank you for having me here. I know people evaluate me based on my number of followers and Insta followers and things like that. But
No,
I want to I want to tell you that, yeah, it's the 19 years of experience what you saw in action, and it's all the amazing work we have been doing and creating. And thank you for seeing and acknowledging that and giving me this platform to educate people about what they can do about themselves.
absolutely. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
That was an eye opening conversation with Imran Baig, showing us how handwriting is more than expression, it's a window into the mind. If you are curious to decode yourself through your writing or simply want to understand your behavioral patterns and emotional blocks, this episode is your guide. Like what you heard? Then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Perception and Beyond, where powerful insights lead to powerful change.